All right, here we go. Totally unscripted. Should be an absolute disaster. It's where we work. So I've got Unity Hub already installed. Who doesn't have Unity installed? Okay, that's why I'm recording. So I'll give you a minute to go through those instructions and get that downloaded, and maybe you can get caught up. Otherwise, we're recording and you can catch up with where I'm at. So get Unity installed as soon as you can, and then this is where we start from. So I've got Hub. I've got a few versions of Unity installed because reasons. Yeah, just a little bit. I just hate my hard drive. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. We'll do just a regular 3D. So 3D core. We'll name the project.
What would happen if you loaded this in 2D and tried to do it?
So there's not a lot of difference. So when you create a 2D or a 3D project,
it's like the same. Well, I know like 3D is technically 2D.
it's just if you create a 2D project, it installs some extra modules that help you work with 2D sprites. But other than that, it's still a 3D project. You've still got all three dimensions there. The camera just locks itself onto an orthographic view, and yeah.
Okay, so it literally just snapped.
Yeah. Sorry. But if I took if I tried to take a 3D one and just turn it into 2D, it might have problems for a little bit. If I was still doing with sprites, but you can make a 2D game out of 3D models, no problem. Yeah. Or one thing I've done for 2D sprites is I've even just rendered out, like made just nice renders of 3D models, saved them off as PNGs, and made sprite sheets out of them, and moved on. Anyway, so new project, 3D, and then I've just got this named thusly with the year and initials. The initials are helpful. What I'm going to suggest is, when you're installing, whatever the latest LTS version is of 2021 is a solid bet for versions.
What is RWT?
Those are my initials. No one wants to hear that. Trust me. I have many skills. That's not one of them. And then we wait. While that's opening up, let me play. So I haven't graded any of the cities yet, but I may download a couple of the FBXs just to see what kind of mess we can get into. For reals?
Wait, I didn't do it. I'm being voted.
All right. Nothing's graded. I'm just going to download it. Who wants to volunteer? Yeah, Matthew, I figured. All right. So you should each have your city block FBXs, but I'm just going to grab a few of them as well. Who else? Yeah, I don't know why I started with Matthews. That'll take all hour to download. Yeah. Who else wanted to? Talon, and then John. All right. Download that.
Yeah, look, his was so quick. Matthews took like a good 3-4 minutes.
These things. And I had you just put your FBXs inside the whole thing. So I've got to download everything to get to it. All right. which works out because we're still building the Unity project, still opening. We got time,
Last year during the forest in history,
huh?
legitimately, I think I took the whole class period for my UK. It was more time I could sit,
Yeah,
and it was loading, and I was so behind.
it's crazy like that. Well, on the computer, how many things you've got open, how much hard drive space you let your computer breathe with. Yeah, I can shut down a lot of this stuff. That's open, obviously. I can close that for now. Come back to that. Oh, okay, we got Unity. All right. For now, I'm just gonna get it. We're just gonna build a scene with some of the FBXs. We might dabble a little later with just throwing in a controller so we can walk around. But I'll start with a couple of your FBXs and we'll see what happens. So go to downloads. Start unzipping nonsense. Here we go. Yes, yeah. So this is our default layout of Unity. We keep everything in the assets folder. There's just a handful of you that haven't done this for a whole class, and I apologize, but here we are. Follow along as best you can, and maybe y'all just do Blender animations for the final, or maybe you learn to love this. So here in the assets folder, we've already got a scenes folder with this emptiness in it. I like to create folders for all this stuff so we can stay organized. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder for student FBXs or student models. Create one for mine. And then luckily the import process is as simple as drag and drop. I say that as I'm about to get to Matthew's FBX. Let me start with somebody else's. All right. Okay. So Jonathan's got a lot of stuff. Is the city everything? And then, okay. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll just grab them all. So you can just grab your FBXs, drag them into your folder here in the project window, and they should all import. So the city looks like a sideways building. I don't know what's happening. They're all here. Did you have textures on yours or just colors? Okay, do you know which ones had textures? If you, fair. Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so that one's got some texture on it. So we'll look at that. No, this is Jonathan's. So do we have sound? Oh, fantastic. So we're hearing all this. All right. So the coffee shop has textures on it. So important step here if you've got textures. So this is just the model in my project window. I select that. And then over here in the inspector window, I'll come over here to materials. And I've got to extract all the textures and materials here so that they show up. So if I drag this out right now, into my scene, the colors came through, but not the textures, right? So I've got to do some stuff. So I'll undo that. So I've got the coffee shop. I'm on the materials tab in the inspector for my import settings. So I'll start with the textures. I'll extract those. And I just create subfolders inside that. So I'm going to create a folder for textures. And extract textures there. Then I'll extract materials and I'll do the same thing. So I'll create a folder for materials. All this folder creation is not strictly necessary, but it could turn into a big nightmare later if you don't organize your stuff. All right, and so now it knows all the names. Look at that. He did a good job of, except for material 16 and 17 here, which might just be on something else. He's got his initials on it, so we're not going to have any problems there. And the textures are now showing through. So he's got all that in this coffee shop, which for me is a great reminder I need to drink some coffee. All right, I'll pull in a couple more. We'll grab Talon's stuff. We'll save Matthew's for last just in case. So causing issues and freezing my laptop because it's a billion polys. Okay, fair. And so there's Talon's whole city block. These things happen. I think we gotta. That's fine. These things happen. And Talon, did you have actual textures on some of these things?
Yes, if you took the sports stadium, there's a hockey symbol.
Okay. So same thing. I'll pull that out, and we'll go through that process again. So I'll grab the model, extract materials into the materials folder.
No, I mean like, how'd you like texture? Like mine, like, did you like just make it black or all that? Oh, that's just how because I'm trying to use it.
And that one's inside out too. So that's not seeing. That's fine. That's fine. It's not seeing textures to extract, so there just might be another export setting, but we're not opposed to it. All right. Now the true test of my RAM. So I'm dragging these. Just with the default lighting, man, all the shadows on that's just satisfying. Okay.
Instantly nervous. Push the cat to go, just a few. Why are you looking at my cathedral, bro?
Why are you here?
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Matthew, with the trade, just make the next Zelda. Just go ahead and start. I feel like you could get half the game. Like by yourself, but like half the game.
So for each of your models that you bring in, extracting textures and materials, good idea, could be necessary. Yeah, this does. He modeled it after an actual cathedral, but I'm definitely getting, a little bit of a Temple of Time vibe off of some of this. No, it happened the other way around.
finished.
You didn't do each pew? Do we have hymn books in there? No?
Interior yet.
What a slacker. What a- he actually figured this one out. Yeah.
I posted it, and it's a comment.
Like what, 28?
28? It took me a little bit. I posted it as a comment. I'm checking.
I just emailed you to do it.
Checking.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pull in a bunch of mine and we're going to build a city around Matthew's Cathedral. Yo,
Oh my goodness.
because I have a life.
So
You're
that,
funny.
What do you have that's more alive than what they were doing last night?
It works.
So there's lots of children for one.
True.
Yeah.
Accidentally, when we got there, someone told, I think it was a caller or someone told me about them, so I know about it. I was like, yeah, they were like, prankers here. I was like, Jimbo's here? No way. And he heard me, and I was like, oh no. And he looked right at me. He was like, who said that?
That was.
I got so scared. I was so terrified.
5:30 a.m. saying that Prof is currently playing Blender.
Prof was up. You were up at 5:30 on Monday?
I don't want to talk about it.
What'd you make him?
I saw the notification.
You can call him now.
So yeah, doesn't wait to see it.
I'm just grabbing an assortment here of FBXs to play with.
You need an FBX of my whole city as one.
Huh?
You need an FBX.
No, we can cobble it together for now. I just needed some stuff to start with, just to get points across.
Just happy that it actually kept pulling from Blender from the textures. Otherwise it would have been too bad. Honestly, yeah.
So I've got a whole scene. So a lot of these models I'm about to pull in here, I made forever ago, many versions of Blender ago, and something's up with their materials as I brought them back into Blender, and oof, so much work.
Blender changed a bunch of material modes,
Probably.
and it broke a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
This is why there are issues with textures in the font culture that we're looking at. Because the mix node got broken.
That's probably enough. All right. So Blender is unique in that it's special for sure. So in Blender, right, we use our middle mouse wheel to do all that. And then Matthew, so this is in solid, but if I go to materials, like I lose everything. My old Blender materials. And in lit mode, it's even better. Like there's just like ambient occlusion. I've got like ghosts of buildings in here.
Ghosts don't exist, huh? That's
Yeah.
a ghost town right there.
Yeah, it's literally a ghost town.
I've not seen that before.
Yeah, that was.
Textures breaking. Like they were just like getting mixed.
These are just colors. They're just colored materials, but they're just like, nah, dude. So yeah, that's the excitement I'm dealing with. Huh? So this is a scene that I just rebuilt. I brought in FBXs that I had exported from like Blender version 1 something. It's a while back. Yeah. Yeah. Things have changed. Anyway, so in Blender, right, we use our middle mouse wheel and pan around. Unity does things like a lot of other 3D software. and it's going to be Alt, and then your regular click. So, is that left? Yeah.
You can also like if you want to do really nice.
Yeah, so holding down Alt and all those does, so I can use Alt and right click and zoom in and out. The middle mouse wheel pans instead of rotating. And then the other thing to note is in Unity, if I select a thing, I'll hit F to frame in on it instead of your decimal key on your number pad. Huh? F. And it's F in almost every other piece of software except Blender. But then I spend so much time in Blender that I go back to Unity and I'm like hitting the period key. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it's not working. So it's true. That's true. So to build out your scene, we won't even get into terrain. So I'm just going to go ahead and I can make primitive objects in Unity. So I'm going to go game object, and I'll just make a big cube. We're not. Well, I can do a terrain, but we're not gonna get into that yet. So I'll make a cube, and I'll 0 it here, and then scale it. So we'll make it like 500. No, we're gonna make a bigger city than that. We'll do 1,000 by 1,000. And then drop it down. And we've got Matthew's Cathedral in the middle of the city. But now that I've got something here on the ground, when I drag things in, they'll try to snap to it and stay above ground. So if I drag in this building, put a nice hotel next to the cathedral with some Vegas vibes. You know what? These cathedrals burning down a lot. Here's what we need. We just need fire hydrants everywhere.
This one won't burn down anymore because there's not anything.
It's all stone.
No, they replaced the roof with iron beams and a copper roof after the roof caught on fire that last one. So that's why it's green. Because it's copper. Unlike the other Notre Dame, in which they're rebuilding the roof exactly as it was.
Which is okay, I guess.
So it's going to use wood again.
So this was exported. The bench is here, but the pivot's over there, which is crazy. But center, it's a bench. Someone had a bench. That was you. Here's your pivot point. There's your bench. I can just change that up here, but all right. Hey, I'm not yelling at you. Just pointing out, like, if things are odd, you can just change how you're grabbing it. So you can move. In Unity, you can say, hey, just work from the center, or use the original pivot, which is inside the building right now. So I'm just change it to center.
The bench might exist in case.
Well, now you can sit here and lean on the fire hydrant.
The bench can be turned into a cube if needed.
Quick conversion. And we got Talon's whole city block with the stadium.
I want to see the side view. Let me see.
Which side? You want to see orthographic? What's happening?
There, you can see the weight of everything. That's what it's fire, the tallest fire cathedral had to get the tallest thing in the city. You can go above it.
Well, now the rule is the coffee shop has to be the tallest. We're going to have to scale this up.
Make the like cup on top.
Just scale up the.
Keep the coffee shop like that, but keep the cup.
And so we can, so check this out. So when he exported the coffee shop, right, I've got the building and I've got the cylinder that was his coffee shop. So it's one unit here, but I can also dig into the hierarchy and play with stuff. So just go.
You failed. Zero. Zero. Here, Paul, not to be, I give you enough here. Huh? What?
No. Oh, it inverted. Yeah, we just flooded the whole city with coffee. All right, we'll just use the scaling tool instead of being typed in. Go.
The balance is perfectly like on the corner.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. We're gonna crush that whole coffee shop to death.
No, the coffee shop is gone. You see,
Or you're just always in the shade. It's fine.
no. This is why it
Imagine the wind goes just right, the coffee burns somebody.
Dragging some more buildings. So, for the purposes of just hey, let's walk around in Unity and see what the cool thing I made. Just dragging stuff in is going to work. Nice spotlight there. We'll just shine that on the cathedral. Minor details we can get into in game engines, but if we wanted to drop a player controller in here, right now everything's ghosted. Right? I can just walk through all the walls. The only thing that's got any collision on it is this box that I created because Unity primitives automatically have colliders on them. So I could walk around on all this, but I would walk through stuff. I don't know if I want to put a mesh collider on your cathedral. You shrink wrap it. And so we'll cover this briefly. So using the cathedral, in theory right now, first person or third person, whatever. If I had a player character in here, I would just walk through the walls. I'd clip through everything. Or I can grab his cathedral, which is one single mesh. Impressive. And I can add colliders to it. So I could add a box collider. That's just going to go. It didn't even know what to do, did it?
No, it didn't.
The box collider said, I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know.
I don't know how big the collider is.
Oh, no, it did. It did a good job. It just didn't show it. So yeah, so it made a big box around here. So I have blocked the airspace above the cathedral, which I'm sure the cathedral likes. But also we can't get in, right? We can't even walk up and look at the walls except right up to the very edge. So this green box around it is completely cutting it off. Which, if this is something you don't need to get up close to, that's a very optimal way to do your collider, right? If it's just something like it's in the distance, I want to make sure I don't clip into it, but I don't care about anything else. I'm going to turn that off. We could also add a mesh collider without doing anything else to it. That mesh collider is using an exact copy of every single face on this cathedral for collision. So that's going to slow your frame rate down crazy. Or I can check this box on the mesh collider, and it's like putting saran wrap around the whole thing. Basically. So let me remove that. Why is my collider not showing in the viewport? There's some gizmos off.
It's really funny though because it's just lines connecting a bunch of the crosses.
Anyway, so if you're going to do it, Unity final, why can't I pan anywhere? What did I do? Rotating doesn't work anymore. Oh, is the panning tools on? No? Fantastic. I messed up something. Anyway, and so again in here, let me go grab Spidey Cube. Where's he at? So he's the same size everywhere. Go to my models. Blender and Unity both work in meters. He's in my downloads folder. I'll bet that's where he's at. Yep. Oh, dang. So there's Spidey. There's that cathedral.
I gotta talk to you.
Not as cool as I thought it was.
Well, we're in orthographic. Here we go. It's a long way down.
I think that's Spider-Man standing on a cross.
Yeah, it seems wrong. It seems
Yeah.
seems like maybe this was ill advised.
Can we make him a pre-Spider-Man?
Spider Priest.
Go.
Go. Hey, there's Spider Horse. Why can't there be Spider Priest?
True. Gotta go up on the roof isn't nearly as sacrilegious. So yeah, bring Spidey in. Might be a good idea for your scaling. So what I want you to do is bring all the FBXs that you've created so far. Would be great if you want to. So at least bring in your city, your whole block, whatever your prop was, your buildings. Bring in your crates and barrels and traffic barriers and big old cargo shipping containers and stuff. If you want to bring in your spaceship and have that cruising just overhead, just I want you to get familiar with Unity, moving stuff around in 3D. We're not going to get anything too complex. We might come back and touch on this Thursday. We might have time now. Let me look. And just find a prepackaged character controller that we can just walk around our world in, instead of just imagining Spidey. Maybe we'll just put control movement on Spidey. But I want you to just kind of build out a small scene with all the stuff you've done. That way, you've got the practice, and if you want to do that for the final in Unity, then you know how to do it. Fair? Cool? And for the people who've never touched Unity before, We're okay, maybe, sort of. It won't. Okay, I can come back and look at that. Oh yeah, so FBX by default will it'll bring in the base color, or the albedo as they call it here. It'll bring in the normal maps. The other stuff don't always translate, but we can re-add most of them in Unity. And I've had varying degrees of luck over the years. So when I first created all these buildings like this in Blender 1. Whatever the heck it was, for whatever reason, when that original set of FBXs, the colors wouldn't come through. Textures would, but colors wouldn't. And yeah, so that was bizarre. Things have been changing over the years. Generally getting better, but as we use our older stuff, we get to see all of the problems. What else? We can add some cars. Here we go. I don't know who needs to be arrested at this cathedral, but we got that just in case. Is it still a safe harbor?
I don't know if that's the rule in France. No. You want me to leave it? Only so long as you're in there.
Only as long as you.
You have to stay in there.
What if they arrest you if you're in there? They go to
this.
You go to watch
You can't do it. You can't do it. There have been people who stayed in the same church the rest of their lives.
So in order to avoid going to prison, they walked into a place that they could not ever leave again.
Wait.
Yeah. So
Huh.
you're technically imprisoning yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to choose my prison.
The American way.
I locked myself up.
Some of that stuff is the most American thing you've ever heard.
I mean, it really is.
You're not gonna imprison me, I'm gonna imprison you.
Honestly,
Not even
somewhere between American and toddler, right? But either way,
it also happened a few hundred years ago or 1,000 years ago in Egypt, where someone walked into a monastery and just never left.
well, you know, I mean, it worked out, I guess. He's contributing now. All right. Chase, totally on the spot. Oh, let me save my scene. Hey, that's going to be a big important deal,
Come on.
right? So I can save it as sample scene, which is terrible, or I can give it a new name, and this will be. Oh, oops.
Are you gonna end up putting everyone's city into this?
I think eventually, if I can, without crashing the computer. That's what happened last year. Is the computer said no.
That's because of
Let's talk about
It's not our fault, okay?
So
It's not our
if
fault.
if someone like hypothetically modeled every single tile on a roof,
the lighting would never make.
yeah, actually, so that was the problem. So I got everything in there, and the light baking was like, "Are you serious right now?" And that's what took days and days. We can call it a skill issue.
Just get a better computer.
Yeah.
If you would have had RAM in your computer, maybe you could have finished it.
I downloaded all the RAM I could find.
Did you not have the 4090?
No, at the time, no, no. As it turned out, last year I did not have that.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's so
Chase, decent first or third person character that we can just get off the asset store.
He's the one that game scripting gives.
No.
Yeah, it's the Unity standard asset.
Standard
Yeah,
asset?
it's just standard assets. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
It works really. You just there's one part of the script you have to delete,
There's like 2 lines because it doesn't work. Like it's like either an old or a new version.
It's so the standard assets went to input system,
Yeah.
and I don't like it
It's
as
just 2
much.
lines. It's literally just 2 lines of code difficulty, and
All right.
after you do that,
So if I go to Window and Package Manager, I can go find all of the things that I have purchased or gotten on the asset store. That's what we're looking for.
and then all you gotta do is save all that script, put it on my bonnet, and it's done.
Just do standard. Two. So since I'm logged into Unity and I've downloaded all these assets before, then I got it through Window Package Manager. I look at my assets and I can filter. So I'm going to pull in, I'll just try the first person character controller here. So we download that. If we decide that we like the way it works here, I'll put a link in the Canvas page or on our Discord and import that. There we go. Package Manager dependencies.
Rob, I know you deleted a lot of the class videos. Is Game Engine still there, or is that gone? Like,
It's all gone.
The recordings of Game Engine?
It's all gone.
So sad.
Google Drive said you cannot have any space anymore.
That means
And
the file of you when we were doing the Gingy nav mesh, and you were kept setting it as static and applying it over and over again, and you had Chase come up, and in the audio it's just Chase mumbling and you going, huh? He mumbles again, you go, what, right here? And you move up and click on view the map and view it, and you go, oh, I'm so freaking out. It was like, that was so good.
I'm glad it made your semester.
It really did. You Chase mumbling and you going, huh? Right here? Oh. There's the few amount of words right here. So
Very still.
Is there any way to reduce the number of follies on a mesh? That makes us a good one.
Shane's busy going to help.
I like that. I like that a lot.
We'll look. Give me a minute. Let me finish this up.
I want to use the dragon and I want to
Early
finish it
night.
right now.
Just one character from these. Or if you set. Although also I think I did use.
Look at package.
Oh, so if you go to the Unity Asset Store and start claiming free stuff, then it'll be here. This is in the, especially in my assets, that's a list of things that I have downloaded from the Asset Store before. So, yeah, I skipped a step there about who knows when I first downloaded that. Oh, fantastic. And then Unity restarts itself. Well, it said it was going to because it was switching over from input manager to input system.
Yeah, I basically didn't want to have to deal with selecting multiple objects and doing everything on the structure at the very end for the export.
It works.
The right state, so that's just telling you where the actual.
Okay. It works.
I just feel like.
Huh.
Starter assets first.
Yeah, starter assets, first person character controller, and I got 1.2 Don't see it in there. So I'm gonna try and import it again. There we go. Didn't import. So I'll just import all that. I should see my assets folder grow. There we go. So now I've got a starter assets folder. Oh, is this, they don't have just a single prefab?
What? It's just a character controller? It should just be a prefab that you can drag in, and you gotta make sure to edit the script. That's how it did. That's how it worked for our class on game engines.
You just gave us a folder.
Now what you looking for?
It's got a player capsule and a camera root.
Is that the right one?
Yeah, I don't think I like this.
It has been judged.
There's a different main camera.
You want me to send you a link to the one that circulated us?
Sure.
I'm working on oh wait, is it in the DET repository?
I don't know. Okay, so I've got my little capsule guy running around in the distance, but my camera's not hooked to him. Yeah. I didn't know what all stuff they were going to have hooked up for me and what wasn't.
Game engines like 4 months ago. Like, come on.
Yeah, but also this is why I hate using other people's stuff because I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, but I know about it.
Yeah, but if you hit a rigid body against its rigid body, your camera starts spinning like crazy.
There is this standard asset in the repository. There is one.
I know.
I think it's there.
How are you missing materials?
Man, I don't know.
It comes with the materials.
I don't know.
I'm confused how you don't have materials. Is that the prefab or is that the FDX?
I just dropped the prefab in.
It's, I'm so.
All right. I hated all that. So here's what I'll do. I'll probably grab one of our other pre-made controllers that we can just drop right in without doing all this hookup stuff. And I'll have that linked in our assignment when we look at that Thursday. So for now, if you get a player controller downloaded and hooked up, you've taken these things before, you understand it, great. For the people really new to Unity, I'll have something easy to use on Thursday. Just kind of build a scene out. If you get in there and decide that just your cathedral and some crates and barrels is not a lot, then you can download some other stuff or import more of your own FBXs. Just kind of have fun and make a scene, huh? Just make another cathedral, between now and Thursday. Why not? Not a cathedral? Boring office building? Yeah.
That's too boring.
All right. Okay. The old one. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of that particular one. Now I realize this is supposed to be a stadium. I get that conceptually. I'm just saying I'm just being a big bowl of ramen right now, but I think it's because I'm hungry.
Unity pros.
I like that. So you just brought in your old spaceship and put it next to the stadium and said this is now part of the city. Yeah. Why not? That's some VIP seats right there. Like I need my own spaceship parking. I'll be there for the game. Yeah, let me see if I can find a scaled car. Right. So there's
Oh, yeah,
I'm just saying like look at how many actual parking spots the spaceship gets.
Elon Musk pays for it. I mean, they're gonna give it to him.
They just sees an orange logo. Did he get hot all of a sudden?
Also, this is a fun one. I have different versions of this here. So I've got doing this for a VR thing. So I've got the complete and undamaged version of the car, and then you walked up and smashed it. Then I had some scripts on it that would hide that, and then would swap in this busted up version. Yeah, yeah. I had a script that says which one's the whole one, which one's the broken one, and it would swap them out when the collider got hit. And then the complete car, the tires are attached; they're part of it. And so when you hide that, then this busted up car would be there, and the tires would just like fly off because destruction's fun. So actually, I didn't have to do anything because what I would do is I would put mesh collider convex on all of them. So yeah, so the colliders would start in each other and then would just start bursting away from each other. It was a convenient use of a collider.
So did you increase the mass of the car so it did go flying, or did it all just go flying?
Depends on how you hit it.
Cool.
Yeah. So the idea was you were basically like a VR Godzilla. So you were like super huge and running around smashing stuff anyway. So yeah, if things went completely bonkers, great. But anyway, yeah. So that car is somewhat scaled to our 1 meter, and this VIP with the spaceship is just taking up like half the parking lot. But that's how they do.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, when you have to get back to your house on the moon.
I don't know why my crate's invisible. The cloaked crate. But yeah.
That does look like, are we clear? That looks like invisibility texture.
Yeah. And I don't know what I did to that to make that happen. There we go. I don't know why there was a transparent texture on it, but it was. Yeah, you know, these things happen. Now we have a crate. Yeah, just bring your stuff in, have fun, kind of build a fun scene. We will look a little bit on Thursday at player controllers and other fun stuff we can do. This is not necessarily a Unity class, but kind of what we're doing our 3D modeling for is a lot for use in engines. So we've got this tacked on at the end as applied 3D modeling. That's where we're putting our models to. So, all right. Yeah, or 32K textures, or whatever other nonsense you were doing over there.